Hey there everyone! Welcome back to another exciting video for the Shibarium community and its partners. I'm Suzanne Shib, and my mission is to spread knowledge and positivity within the Shibarium ecosystem. This video is the 11th of all X-Space Weekly DAO update series. This X-Space was held April 4th, 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another K9 Finance Weekly DAO Spaces. You are here very early, either listening to the recording, which is very cool, or here live because you followed the reminder link, which is frankly even better. We appreciate you carving out the time to be here. However, if you have never been to a Spaces before, being here this early comes with its own set of consequences. We have to do the setup. We have to get speakers in place. So if you're here live, it's like they let you into the concert venue before we did the sound check. So my bad. Like, we have to set up and check the speakers and make sure the instruments work while you're here. That's the consequences that we have with being live. However, if you're listening to the recording, you got like a 5-minute buffer before I'm really going to start the show. We'll chat between here and the 5-minute mark, but basically we're just getting set up, approving speakers. We're going to check microphones. We're going to pin posts. So hang out with us if you're here live, and we're going to get going in about 4 more minutes after we do some setup and we get our guests in place. We've got people still waiting to come in from the reminder link. We've got guests that are scheduled to be here today. We want to give them a couple of minutes to get in here, as it were. Buzz is already up here with the speaker spot quick and early. How are you, sir?
Hey, mic check, 1, 2, 3.
Loud and clear for now. Should they see fit to let you stay, that'll be another story. So we'll, okay, I see Sentinel finally got approved. That one was taking a second. Sentinel, are you with us? Is your microphone working? How are you?
Very good, very good. The microphone is working. Thank you for asking. How are you, sir?
I'm well. Thank you for asking as well. I'm over here ready to go. I see a few more people down in the comments. I know that might be coming up a little bit later. We've got some subjects to touch on today. If you guys saw the title up there, it's Weekly DAO Update number 11. So we've done 10 of these up to this point. And today I used the phrase bridging the educational gap, just because we're at this point right now where we've got a couple of things that I personally feel like I've seen a lot of questions about stuff that we could just address as a group to maybe get some answers about stuff or make people more comfortable with, in particular, not just token related things, but this week DAO related things, which are equally as important in my eyes, if not more important than token stuff. So when we room reset at about the 5-minute mark, we're going to roll into some educational stuff. I want to cover some really important stuff about the forums this week. We're going to discuss the new forums that went live, what the sign up process is like, what it takes to be able to post on there. We just want to pretend that some of you might already be there, but we need to pretend today like absolutely nobody knows what that is, because not everyone's in the Telegram, not everyone reads the X posts. So this will be an audio opportunity for us to explain what will eventually become the process for, having discussions as a group, and then making decisions, and eventually having these things appear on Snapshot. So the Shib account is here with us today. They're up here in the co-host spot. I appreciate you guys coming by again to co-host. As we've talked about before, your appearances on Thursday are very appreciated as part of the K9 DAO updates. We are looking forward to one day maybe even hearing from the Shib account is something I would look forward to. No pressure, you guys. I just appreciate you hanging out. It looks good right up here on the co-host spot. But until then, you're more than welcome to hang out with us. That also means that they bring their friends along. So as you guys look through the listener spots, you'll notice some faces from the Shib crowd. What you could also do to help me out is share the spaces. Bottom right corner, if you look down there, no comments yet. That's not going to do. That can't stand, in my opinion. So we need likes on the spaces. We need shares at a minimum that are a reshare or maybe a quote post. Those are even more powerful. So let's get some comments down there. Let's circulate. Let them know the Shib account is here. Let them know we're talking DAO stuff. Maybe even just share some good photos down there. If you've got some K9 stuff, put it down there. Let us know what you're up to. Let us know where you've been at this week. DeFi Turtle, while I was going through that, your microphone was approved. Is it working? How are you?
Mic check. Hopefully it's working. Doing well. How are you?
Yeah, sounds good over there. I'm doing well, man. Thank you for coming to hang out. I've got a lot of questions for you today.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. That's right. I got the guy at the spotlight ready to go. He turned it up to 4,000 lumens and we're going to shine it right on you. I hope you're ready.
Great.
Yes, I'm excited. We've got one more minute, and then I'll do the room reset. I do have other people that said they'd stop by, but they'll come through as we go. You guys know the format before I do the room reset. We're here for a little less than an hour. We've got about 50 minutes or so. I have that hard cap where I'm going to close the show down for sure at the end. If we get to a point where we have some AMA stuff, I'd be more than happy to approve you guys to come up if you have questions about the things we've talked about, questions about things we didn't talk about, or just, DAO stuff. What have you been seeing in the Telegram? What are questions you've seen? What are questions you've had? We need to get more comfortable getting new faces up here in these speaker spots. So I'm not here to lean on you too hard, but we are looking for people to come up and speak at these things. So think about that between here and next time. Maybe this is your chance to come and shine. We will also give Buzz his opportunity to do Buzz's Corner at a certain point, because I know you guys know I love that. So stick around. If you guys are ready, between everybody I've checked microphones with, I'm ready to do the room reset if you're ready to roll. Sweet. Emojis everywhere. So the room reset means we pretend like the last 5 minutes didn't happen. So we're going to go through it again, minus the microphone checks. You guys ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another K9 Finance Weekly DAO Spaces. Number 11 this week. We're here this week, bridging the educational gap. A number of subjects related to the DAO, the token, and questions that we've seen between here and our last show that we're going to go over. So quick and easy up front. I'm the K9 Finance account, but my name is actually CryptoPulse9, or I'm Shane. I'm not the K9 Finance dev. I'm not the K9 Finance project. I'm just a DAO member. Like you guys, I get to hang out up here and host the shows. So my job today is to play host to the shows. We get to talk to people from around the community who have been working on things, working on token stuff, working on DAO stuff, and just to kind of pass the microphone around. So don't get caught up thinking that I'm the guy up here running the whole show. I'm just lucky enough to speak for the DAO. So if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, what can you do for us? Bottom corner, there's a number down there. If you're on mobile right now, it says 13. We've got some comments. You can use your comment section for concerns, questions, things like that. We'll check intermittently throughout the show and see what you've said down there. You could also just raise your hand. We'll get to a point where you could come up, maybe ask your questions if you're brave enough in a place where you can speak. That would be great too. So without further ado, bridging the educational gap. Between now and the last time we talked, for me, I think the biggest development has been the K9 Finance forums. And we've had some discussions about this, but this week we're going to pretend, I would like to pretend, that everyone listening has not heard about these things. We need to get in the habit of reminding ourselves that new people show up, every day and hold this token. So this is an opportunity for Turtle, for Buzz, for me, and anyone else that kind of already knows what's going on with the forums, to explain from the ground up on what you guys need to be doing in order to participate in the K9 Finance DAO, because ultimately holding the tokens is cool. If you're trying to trade it, that's great. But if you're here for the long-term stuff, if you want to play a part in the decision making, if you're going to have ideas and you want to be a thought leader in this process, this is the ground level in these forums where that starts. So I'm going to hand it over to Turtle, because Turtle has busted his back working on this thing, and I can see the work that's been done if you guys haven't been to the forum yet. So Turtle, if you can, kind of give an explanation of who you are for those that don't know yet, because it's Spaces, and then what have you been up to for the last, couple of weeks to get this ready?
Yeah, thanks, Shane. So I am the head of operations on the management council for the K9 Finance DAO. And lately, I have been focused exclusively really on getting the fully functional DAO put in place. So we've taken inspiration from other leading DAOs. Lido DAO is a good example, but there are many others as far as best practices go. And so to kind of explain the purpose of the DAO, right, everyone in the community really owns the project together. And so our job is to just facilitate proposals from the community, bring them into an advisor level discussion, and then put them up for on-chain voting. And so there's kind of a multi-step process that starts with the forum, as you pointed out, which is now live. So I do encourage everyone to go to forum.k9finance.com and get registered. There'll be a short approval once you sign up, but it should take an hour or two, and then you'll be in the forum, and we'll continue to reduce the requirements there as we go. But so far, we've had really good activity in the forum. And so the first item actually that was included in the forum was a test vote. And the reason that we do a test vote is to kind of establish voting procedures for everyone in the community and to give us a good sense of what quorum should be. And maybe not everyone knows what that word means, but essentially just group consensus on a vote passing. And that vote actually finished up about 8 hours ago. So everyone voted on their favorite animal being a dog. And we had 98.5% of people agree that that's their favorite dog. So I think that's a good thing. I don't know if you want to have me pause here or if you want me to keep going into some of the details about the DAO, but I think that's a good opening explanation.
So I don't want to reveal my age. I'll give you the opportunity to get a breath and a sip of water. I don't want to reveal my age, but forums kind of feel like a throwback a little bit. I've got a lot more experience on forums than I ever did on Telegram or Discord or anything like this. So this is actually way more comfortable for me. I've been over there myself, went through the sign up process. Obviously, I wanted to be able to come to the show and know a little bit about what I was talking about. So I'm very comfortable over here. What's this been like for you going back to a forum again? Because you've been doing a lot of work just like the rest of us on Telegram and these other places. Are you equally as comfortable, do you think? Because for me, I think there's a better propensity for progressive conversation over there. I've always lamented Telegram's quick to forget and how everything scrolls by. So are you an old forum guy like me?
Yeah. Not to date myself specifically, but I grew up at an early age being very active in forums and being a moderator or administrator, a variety of different forums. So definitely comfortable, and I definitely like the format. And we're following industry best practices. That every leading DAO that we've researched has an area where the community gets to come in, have discussion, put their best foot forward in a proposal, chime in on someone else's proposal, and kind of build consensus together. So I think it's really the ideal tech for doing what we're doing.
And with the ability to sign up and make these profiles and stuff, it's going to keep everybody, hopefully you're using the same profile everywhere just so we know who you're dealing with and stuff. It's not as confusing, right? It's not linked to wallets or anything. There's no wallet connect involved in this.
Yeah, I mean, you can see wallet addresses based on who has voted and how many K9 they hold, but it doesn't tie back to anyone's username. And so it's pretty anonymous. You're not really going to have a sense of who's who just looking at the votes.
That's snapshot though, right?
But in the forum, if you're trying to build community consensus, I would encourage you to use the same profile because you want people to kind of see you talking in Telegram, bring your friends over into the forum, get everybody discussing your proposal, so on and so forth.
So for everybody that's wanting to go over there and sign up, what are the first steps they're going to encounter when they get over there? It's just as easy as username, password. You said then there's a small waiting period and stuff. Is it easy once you get your approvals? Can they just go over there and start posting right away, or what does it look like?
Yeah, so you'll just go to forum.k9finance.com. And then when you sign up, it's just a username, email address sign up. The email's required so that we can send you notifications when people reply to your posts or so on and so forth. Once you're approved, which again should happen within about an hour, we have moderators just keeping an eye on it. Once you're approved, in order to make a topic or a proposal yourself, you'll need to spend 15 minutes reading, kind of interacting, take some time to get familiar, read the categories, read the abouts. And by the time you've done all that, the system will automatically upgrade your trust level, and you'll be in the position to put a new proposal in within 15 to 20 minutes.
What I found when I was looking around is that there's a gamification that they've got in place with this software. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, there's badges and other cute stuff like that. So it encourages user activity, which is great.
Yep. So if you get over there, what I did when I first landed, because I'm the last kind of person that wants to bug somebody and ask questions. So once I discovered the badge system, I reverse engineered based on those badges, what they just wanted me to do to get familiar with the software. So that helped me a lot. If you guys are over there signing up and you're familiar with what it means to be gamified, just to be given tasks to earn badges and stuff, I found this was an easier process than a lot of forums that I'm familiar with and have onboarded to prior to this. So I thought the badge system was pretty smart, and the trust system makes place as well. And I want you to talk a little bit more about the trust system, but that basically stops people from showing up and griefing hardcore, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think it's really clever how you reverse engineered the actions from the badges. I do think they do a good job encouraging the right steps, so other people should probably follow that lead. But yeah, the trust level's in place so that it just doesn't get flooded with spammers, and we've got a little bit of extra security in place. You know how these things can go, but so far everything has been great. I mean, we have all valid signups, everyone's starting to participate. We have our first real proposal in the forum. I don't know if you want me to get into that yet, but yeah, everything should be really straightforward and secure. And then the more actions you take, the higher your trust level gets. But really that initial hurdle is the big one where you can create new proposals.
as far as getting into the proposal, I almost want to let people be curious about it as a reason for them to go over there. Because if you are there, then you're not wondering at all. Then you have a sense of ease and no anxiety about this lack of information. But if you have not signed up, suddenly you might be concerned. So it's a good reason to drive signups. Buzz, what do you think? 50-50 on that.
I'm all for it. I think Turtle's been killing it, really leading and spearheading, getting not only the forum set up, but Snapshot as well. And I think it's been going incredibly well. When you look at even Lido, which is where we took most of the inspiration from, and you go to their forum, it's a mess. So Turtle did a ton of research alongside the rest of our team to see, okay, how can we take best practices from a project like Lido, but also improve it to make sure that we're doing it and taking incremental steps forward. So I think it's great.
I was impressed too with the UI and the overall layout and stuff like that. I found it to look like it was intentionally made. I've seen some things that look like they're kind of slapped together. So I was definitely given a sense of confidence. So kudos to you, Turtle, for all the work that you did over there. I honestly can't even imagine how much it took, because I was looking at it like, wow, all of these had to be built and stuff like that. So at risk, let's save the proposal discussion, because I do know what you're talking about, because I've been over there. If you guys are wondering what he's talking about, you need to go sign up for the forum, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And, we have one major proposal in there now, and there will likely be a few more in there by the weekend. These are critical decisions being made for the future of the project. So if you're a holder or someone who plans to be a holder or just wants to have a say in the direction of the project, this is how you do it. So I encourage everybody to come to the forum, sign up. I've already seen a few signups come in while we're sitting here, so people are listening.
Excellent. Ooh, I love live feedback and data. That's fantastic. So what can we do for Turtle? Because he's worked very, very hard to get this set up for us. So this would be my call to action for you guys. I want to be able to let him see those numbers go up as the weekend goes, because I know some people have to listen back to this recording. Make sure you guys, when you're talking about what we talked about in Spaces, the number one thing you walk away with is that we need to get the membership up on the forum. If you're a legitimate participating member of the DAO who plans on having their voice heard, then that's going to be the place you need to do it, because slowly but surely Telegram will not be the place for that. It's already difficult, but if people start joining like they have in other projects, when other projects start really getting visibility, Telegram quickly becomes a very difficult place to have any kind of real conversation. And you will probably find the forums to be a harbor in a what will feel like a storm of conversation. So that's going to be super important, right, Turtle?
Yeah, well said. And one other thing I want to mention is on the K9 Finance website, if you go to the footer, you'll find a link to the governance page as well as the proposal guidelines page. The governance page clearly outlines the entire process start to finish, so you can kind of understand how things go from forum topic to on-chain vote. So I encourage everyone to check that out. And then if you do want to make a proposal, it's important to follow the guidelines that we've provided the best you can. They're pretty standard, but it makes it effective and makes it puts enough information up for everyone to really move it forward into something that the roundtable might review. And I don't want to go too much into roundtable stuff yet, but I do want everyone to know that proposals go up to the roundtable, and then the roundtable votes on them, and then they move to on-chain voting. And the first roundtable meeting should be next week, unless something's changed. Buzz, you can kind of speak to this, but now is the time to be active, is I guess the point I'm trying to drive.
And I hope everyone here continues to drive that sentiment, because like I said, one more time, all the work that he has put in has given us the opportunity to go out and do the work to show it off and to, put this out in a place where other people can see it and say, hey, look, we have a functional forum here. Using screenshots to just say, hey, look how crisp this looks. It's one thing to go shill on X and talk about your token and use the graphics. We get great graphics from CMT, Crypto Marketing Titans, and all the people, but sometimes showing the tech is important. So something as simple as a screenshot of the forum might actually be bullish for the right person, just like this is called a segue in the business. A screenshot of the UI from the staking DApp might also be bullish, right, Buzz?
Definitely. I posted a sneak peek yesterday that got a lot of media coverage in the Shib magazine and also Shib Daily. And my quotes in there have basically been about what our team wants to be doing, and especially our dev team, is having this radical form of transparency where we're building in public. We're showing the community on a weekly basis, hey, this was done, look how cool it is, and showcasing the product, because oftentimes when projects launch, they have these really, really long roadmaps, and their project can seem like to the community that it's a hope and a dream that it's going to come in the future. Like I remember when ICOs were a big topic in 2017, you would have these projects that had 3-year-long roadmaps, and I think there's still ICOs from back then who really haven't delivered on what was in their original white paper, and I want people to really see in our community that our roadmap is actually quite short. Q3 is just around the corner, and it's when our flagship product, which is Bone Crusher, will be coming out. And by sharing these weekly updates, people will understand like there's a lot of building going on here, and it's happening very quickly, and people are going to see that weekly process, and it's just another step forward with the DAO and everybody making collective decisions, and the development team really showing weekly progress of how we want to be fostering this community environment where this is a community-owned piece of infrastructure that's going to benefit the entire SHIB community.
And I would ask, from your perspective, as the guy who is familiar with the way that those UIs look on the staking DApp, because you're working on it, you know what these things look like. Do you think that it's possible, because I saw the reaction when you shared it and how excited everybody got, were you also surprised because you are very familiar with it? You see it every day, but to everyone else, it's like, oh my gosh, this is a real thing. Were you surprised by their reaction as someone who's kind of maybe, I don't want to say numb to seeing it, but just less worried about like what that looks like every day?
I think I was a little bit surprised, but it was a good surprise. It was really understanding like wow, like if we put more effort into sharing this every single week, the community is really going to start to understand and become more educated together on how big this can be for Shibarium. So even last night, like our team was up really, really late, and we have a video now of a working prototype of Bone Crusher, and I almost shared the video this morning, but then we stopped in the midst of that, thinking let's make this video a little bit more exciting and do an actual marketing unveiling with this, where people are going to be able to see a clickable prototype of exactly how Bone Crusher is going to be working, so that we can drum up more excitement. I think we got a little bit too excited in the sharing, and want to make sure that our sharing is still strategic on a week-by-week basis. And I think it just speaks towards something that I've talked about for a long time, how our team is built on many other chains, which have very, very active development communities, and you're often building amongst a group of other developers who understand this, and the Shibarium chain is so unique in the fact that the Shibarmy is wild, and they are so powerful and eager and hungry to use products that are being built. And we're just kind of taking a different approach here, where seeing this excitement of a product sneak peek, if it's getting people that excited, we want to do more and more.
As a marketing guy with my background that I have, I hear you as a development guy talking about finishing this product and being so excited to just dump it straight into the public. And I could give a speech about how many times I've worked with other teams that are working on some sort of utility, and I've had to be that guy like, whoa, pump the brakes. You got to give me an opportunity to do something with this thing. Like, we got to make a hype teaser, or we got to get a series of like inquisitive but enigmatic posts up. Man, I know exactly what you're talking about this morning. If Lightspeed were up here, he could tell you so many times about what I've been the guy to do. And I'd love, this would be another one if Shib ever wanted to talk, the conflict between the people that have something that they want to share, and then the marketer brain that is like, we got to find a way to get this out with the right amount of teasing. You know, you don't want to dump it right on the community, but you got to tease it right. I'm excited too, and I'm glad you kind of pumped the brakes on that. It is difficult to find the right balance between like hype generation and proving to the community that you're working on something. So the Bone Crusher video, I'm super excited about them. Man, my brain's going crazy thinking about that already. Bone Crusher is a rapper. The first thing I thought of, I don't know if that's relevant, but I immediately thought of one of my rappers that I went to. But I digress. as I continue to go about that. The staking app, you mentioned that we're close to Q3. I think that might be the first time I've heard anybody say we're close to Q3. We're in Q2 now, right? So you're feeling pretty confident. Nobody's worried about the timeline. I know I'm asking questions for other people. I already know the answer is no, but you are still very confident about the timelines and everything. There's no worry in your mind about this not lining up at all.
No, not really. I mean, we're looking at late Q2 for testnet and early Q3 for mainnet, and that is a considerable timeline increase. Like, we're actually going to be delivering it faster than we thought for the mainnet launch of Bone Crusher in Q3, which is really exciting. There are a few variables that are outside of our control, but we're planning those very early, and one is just making sure that auditors are ready to go, because oftentimes they get very busy. Others are just approvals from the proper Shibarium wallets to set up a validator and to bridge K9 over to Shibarium. And we're starting those conversations very, very early to make sure that there are no delays. And our team's very confident on delivering on the timelines that we've set when the initial white paper was launched in January, and we set those timelines very thoughtfully. So all's good in our corner.
And now with that in mind, I don't know if publicly this has been talked about, but the K9 token has been built and is undergoing testing. Is that true?
Yeah, it is. And like how that token will operate is it's one of two reward tokens, so that there's a circular system where people are going to earn through using Bone Crusher. They're going to receive K9 Bone. They're going to be able to provide liquidity for Bone, K9 Bone, and stake that LP token to earn not only escrow K9, which will vest over time into K9 to make sure that not too much supply is being put into the market too quickly. And then the other way they're going to earn in that process too is with partner tokens. So there'll be a very thought out business development plan where we'll be reaching out to all Shibarium projects so they can get exposure to the audience of K9 and people who are investors who are using the K9 product. So we expect that a lot of partner tokens will onboard to help secure the Shibarium in that process. So there'll be a dual learning mechanism there, and that's ongoing testing right now.
I think that'll be pretty sought after. I don't have a lot of experience. I don't want to sound like I'm really good at it, but through Pancake Swap with a lot of yield farming and staking, they made that very easy. And I had played around with it back before Cake completely took a nosedive. So I'm excited just to see like all the little things, like you're talking about, the partner experiences, or who else wants to figure out how they can play once they see all the pieces. Because I don't think everyone has that vision. We talked previously about how it's difficult to see the whole house when you're just looking at the blueprint. So I think as more pieces fall into place, you're going to see more brands step up and go, oh goodness, there's something that I can do here, or there's value that I can add, or I can play with these tokens also. So the takeaway from that for everyone listening is the escrow K9 or K9 token has been built and is being tested. If you refer to your visual roadmaps and stuff, there's a couple of different colored K9 tokens on there. This is one of those colored tokens on that. So without getting much deeper into that, that's just news that I wanted to share. And I want to have a laugh before I move on, because we're about halfway through, about 30 minutes into the spaces. I saw a post that has been living rent-free in my head. And since we're talking so technical about stuff, Buzz, right now, and this is also good for Turtle and Sentinel or anyone else, because it just made me laugh. Last week after the spaces, I saw a guy comment, and I know I'm not supposed to keep this stuff in my head, but I just couldn't get it out. He said, these damn spaces, all they do is development updates, and they're talking about all this technical stuff. What's the point of going to these spaces? And I was just like, oh man, you are so very confused, my guy. Like, what are you coming to these spaces for? I've been wondering this whole time, by the way, if that guy's in the audience right now, like pulling his hair out, like, no, they're talking about forums again. And now they're talking about escrow tokens. Did you see that comment, Buzz? Like, what would you think if someone said, these damn DAO updates are just about technical developments?
Yeah, I mean, comments like that are a bit humorous, but I think we all just need to do a better job of educating that these weekly updates are really for us to showcase what's being built and give that community confidence, but also to come together as a community to learn about these things and start to participate the DAO and the governance process, and hear from community members of what they're thinking and how they're excited for what's to come, and any ideas that they may have as well. And that's why I love that every single week where we're doing this, we're getting more friendly faces who are coming up to speak. Like I just saw Xanders came up to speak, and we have our another advisor here, Seth, as well, and of course Sentinel, and we're really growing this on a week-by-week basis to have more voices really representing the DAO. I just saw Lucy come in as well, another advisor. So it's really great to see how these are forming and building, and more voices are really understanding and sharing what's going on with K9.
I thought it was funny for them to be upset about that, because I can imagine a host of other things we could be doing with our time that they would be complaining equally about. If we were doing K9 karaoke, they would have a stroke. if that's how I was choosing to use everyone's time once a week, we were in here doing Kumbaya. But no, it's to technical updates. I think this is important. Now, for you guys that know me and Pulse, the number one rule at Team Pulse is always fun. So beyond everything, my concern with these spaces is first that they are fun, and then that they are informative and educational. But fun is the only reason anybody's going to stick around realistically and listen to the whole thing or the whole recording. So I appreciate everybody in the listener spots for hanging out. And I also saw Xanders came in and he took a speaker spot. Xanders, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey Shane, what's up? What's up, friends?
Good to hear from you,
boss. Excellent. Well, I say a few words because I'm in the way to AMA with Bitmart, so I say I am excited to see the growth and success of K9, and I am confident that there are many more exciting things to come. As an advisor, I am committed to supporting the team and helping K9 to reach new heights, and I'm looking forward for to engage with the community in coming AMA with Bitmart today and sharing more about Shiba Inu, Shibarium, and other topics. Stay tuned for the dedicated AMA for K9 in Spanish with Bitmart, and I hope to see you out there. Thank you for your support, and let's continue to grow together.
I appreciate you doing the AMA. That's very important that we covered the other languages when we're able to. So he's got a AMA with Bitmart fully in Spanish. So for anybody in the Spanish-speaking community, that would be a great place to go. And even if you don't speak Spanish and you can just go park your account in there, let's go get some listeners in there for him. So make sure you're following Xanders and get some people into the spaces for him. And I see your hand up, Sentinel. Go ahead.
Hey, thank you so much. I wanted to shout out Endax. I see them lurking in the room there. Cool little Canadian exchange that I actually use. They got some incredible customer service, and some of you know me. I'm not the most technical guy, and so my son did a lot of research in terms of like what can he trust his dad in terms of an exchange so that he doesn't lose all his crypto, and Endax is the one he chose. So I wanted to shout them out. I see them. Maybe there could be a potential partnership with K9 down the road. So I wanted to shout that out. But also, I wanted to take a moment. Super excited. Congratulations to Turtle and Buzz in terms of really pushing it forward in terms of the DAO and the whole process and getting those submissions. This was something I did speak about last week that I was super excited about. The fact that we all now have a voice and starting to see some proposals come in, and some are really big and very ambitious, but then there are also some that are small and very well thought out of. So I do want to encourage everyone to really start participate. And it doesn't matter if you're a whale or a dolphin, a fish or a shrimp. Get yourself active, get yourself participating. We are right now, consolidating a little bit and building up that momentum, getting that kinetic energy. So congratulations to everyone, and let's keep building, let's keep things positive, and let's keep moving forward. There are some really cool things happening in the SHIB world, some really cool things happening in K9. So, congratulations, and wanted to shout out Index down there.
Appreciate you, Sentinel, and that's a good eye. I saw them down there too, but I didn't have the familiarity that you did. So I imagine by the time you even finish that, Lightspeed has already probably sent a DM if I know that guy. Very fast worker. I don't think I have to explain the name and stuff like that. I got Seth Shapiro back up in the speaker spot. He had dropped back down a minute. Seth, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, you guys doing? Hi, everybody. Here to just throw my support behind this. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a senior advisor to Shine Cal. I work directly for them, but I'm also a member of two funds, Alpha Transform Holdings and Alphabet Fund, and we all invested in Buzz and Turtle in the project. Super excited. I think this is exactly the kind of team that you need to see on Shibarium to increase TVL and increase, the volume of products and the quality of projects on the chain. So I couldn't be happier to be part of the project and to support these guys. I think you're killing it.
And Seth, I hate to do this to you, but can you pretend for just a second that there's going to be a bunch of people in here that may not know much about who you are? You've been around Shib for a while, right? Can you do a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I met Shine Cal last year, and I've been working for them ever since on a variety of things. So yeah, like directly on the roadmap, have a lot to do with some things that we're going to be announcing in July. I can't really jump the gun on those, but there's a lot of really exciting stuff on the roadmap for that. And also relative to my background from before crypto, I was a media and tech guy for a long time in Hollywood. So I worked pretty much with every studio on their eventual tech plan. So that's kind of part of the roadmap as well, to expand into, other areas, like that, like media specifically. Yeah, again, I can't jump the gun on those announcements, unfortunately. Got to wait for Shine Cal, but there's a lot of really exciting stuff. But I mean, to me as an investor also, when I found out that through Sentinel, actually, that there was somebody building Lido on Shib, I was just immediately excited. And then when I met Buzz, we had a long talk about not just DeFi, but TradFi as well. I was like, okay, this is exactly the right guy to be building kind of industrial grade, liquidity crypto products on this chain. So for those of you who don't know him, I mean, he's got a really deep knowledge going back, decades in finance, even before crypto. So really exciting to see what these guys come up with.
Very bullish. And Seth doesn't know me, you guys, as far as CryptoPulse, not K9 Finance. Seth's never done a spaces with me, so he's going to laugh when I say this, but there's two things. Seth is going to be the guy that there's eventually a reason there's a Shib TV, which don't say anything. Stop laughing. You can't say anything. I'm making that up. I don't have any reason to say that, but he's also the guy that's going to have to call me when that time comes around, because I am ironclad built for that shit, brother. So thank you for showing up and hanging out with K9 today. I hope you've had a good time at the spaces. Like I said, rule number one was fun. So thanks for coming by.
Oh yeah, my pleasure.
And then
Seth is also obviously very modest. I believe, Seth, haven't you won 2 Emmy Awards as well?
Yeah, I did. I actually launched, I was on the launch team for TiVo, for those of you that remember that. So that won an Emmy. And then I wound up building a whole bunch of the NFL's original TV apps before all that stuff kind of moved around. So I built like the NFL's original apps as well. So those are the two. And then I eventually became a governor of that organization. So the TV Academy that awards the Emmys after I won, I was kind of the guy that called people up and let them know that they had wanted to show up. So that's true. Yep. You're right, Buzz.
And for the community who doesn't know Seth as much, we as a management council and team talk with him on I believe it's a bi-weekly basis, if not weekly, but very often in Telegram. And one of the things that Seth is really helping us with is driving more key partnerships, not only just within Shibarium, but outside of it as well. So he's already made some really great introductions to other projects that we can be making meaningful partnerships with that are going to move not only K9 forward significantly, but the tooling and development requirements for all of Shibarium as well.
Yeah, thanks, Buzz. I mean, I think what's so exciting about, having met you is that I know that if there's other projects that I invested in or that one of the funds invested in, or even I just met that's doing something interesting in DeFi, that if I put them with you, they're going to be really impressed. So the worst case scenario is, it takes a while for kind of a synergy to emerge, but in the best case, it's something really interesting that's happening on other chain that we can bring over to Shibarium. And I think, you're a real key asset to that. So I think that's not just great for for K9, it's great for the entire ecosystem.
Well, God, I can feel Buzz blushing over here. You guys feel that warmth coming off of his cheeks? That's adorable. Seth, I appreciate you swinging by, man. You're welcome to come by anytime you want. I know you could probably speak on a lot of subjects, and I don't expect someone to come in and lead with the multiple Emmy Award winning. So thank you for throwing that down, Buzz. Do you guys in the audience see what happens every single time we meet a new advisor? Where are these people coming from? How are we getting all these superstars? It's nuts. Every time we meet someone, we find out more and more about how they're qualified or where they came from. It's impressive. That was Sentinel unmuted if you're over there. I don't know if you meant to do that or not, but there we go. And Crimson, I got you a speaker spot while we were going through all that. Thank you for coming to Spaces today. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's up? How are you?
I'm just driving right now, so can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sounds fine.
Okay, awesome. So I manage the community, which you know. So I manage all the mods and everything like that. We've got a lot on the go. We're working on doing some contests in the community and stuff like that.
Yep. So with you guys in the Telegram, you've seen Crimson in there. If you guys have had to tag her for stuff, Crimson is our Telegram moderator. So she's going to be the one you guys are seeing when you're in that group doing all the admin work and stuff. So thank you for coming in, Crimson. We appreciate the work.
Thank you. Yeah, I keep all the mods in line and, do that. We're working on getting a cohesive narrative going on so everyone's got the same info and stuff like that. And they're doing really well with it.
Yep. It takes a lot of time to build that team. I've done a lot of Telegram moderation and getting everybody on the same page is very, very difficult. But you've got some documents that you've sent out, and I think everybody's starting to really get on the same page, right?
Well, yeah, and I think there's about 49 people that have admin perms too, so it's a lot of people to kind of wrangle onto the same page in there. But we're getting there, and it's definitely the largest group of moderators that I've ever had to manage, so.
I kind of lost you there a little bit. Phone's breaking up a little bit, but yes, 50 is a lot of people to deal with. That's a large admin group, and it's hard work to keep everybody on the same page, but it's good international coverage, right? Because you've got overnight coverage.
Yes. Yeah, so we're going to start working on building up that international group some more because we have a lot of them. So we're going to start doing some advertising and stuff like that, specifically targeted towards those international groups, especially like the Turkish and the Persian ones. Just kind of bring in some new investors that might not speak like English and stuff like that. So that'll be good for growing those groups.
So for anybody that's out there listening, if you're in those Telegram groups, if there's another language that you speak and you can help, maybe you mention that when you're in the group and see if there's something you could do to help out the admin team if you would like to try.
Yeah, because we're always looking for people because we don't speak those languages. So if you speak those languages, feel free to ping me in chat or DM me and we'll get you set up somewhere.
Awesome. I appreciate you. I know when you're driving, it's difficult to do a space, but I appreciate you carving out the time today. Anybody needs anything, she's going to be in the same name in Telegram. That's Crimson Creator if you guys need anything. Thank you, Crimson, for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. I want to do Buzz's Corner. I am ready for my weekly sit-down session. I've got my ice-cold water ready to sip on in my warm, cushy seat. So I'd like to hand it over to Buzz to see what's been in his head for the last 7 days since the last time we got a sneak peek at what's going on in Buzz's Corner. It's all yours, buddy.
Yeah, I think something that's been on my mind the last week or so is really how meme season is really going to play out in the long term. And I think that the way that I've been thinking about it is that meme coins are very similar to how NFTs acted in the last bull run. You would always see with NFTs, it was a new on-ramp for new people to come into crypto. It was something that they could understand better. You're buying a piece of art, a photo, something that's fun and whimsical. And it was less daunting for people than purchasing Bitcoin for the first time or purchasing Ethereum or even Shib for the first time. Shib itself was an excellent conduit for bringing newcomers into the crypto space. And as an industry, we talk a lot about what are these big catalysts for onboarding the next wave of people, the next wave of investors, the next wave of people who are going to get infected by the crypto bug. And I think NFTs really was that in the last cycle. And we're seeing that meme coins are really becoming that in this cycle. And it's this conduit where college campuses around the world, the people are putting up stickers of, hey, buy this meme coin, buy Brett, buy all of these other meme coins that exist because they can make you rich. And this narrative is forming at a grassroots level, which many people are going to have their opinions on those more grassroots meme coins in terms of the promises that they're making there. I think Shib has far surpassed becoming just a meme coin, and that's very clear. But I think meme coins are going to be this conduit. And when you see NFTs and how they traded according to Ethereum in the last cycle, you would see an inverse relationship. So the price of NFTs would go up and the price of Ethereum would go down. And then you'd have this inverse relationship that lasted for about 18 months. And I think that's something to look for in this cycle as well. When is that smart allocating their money to, if they're making money on these meme coins? And last cycle we saw that they were cycling it into Ethereum and large cap coins and things like Shib. And I think this is something very interesting to watch, where when people are making money on meme coins, where exactly are they putting those funds into? Because for the vast majority of meme coins, not the large cap meme coins, but the smaller ones that are going from zero market cap to a couple million in a day and then fizzling off, the money that's being made there has to flow somewhere. And I think what we're going to see here in the next couple of months, especially approaching and just after the Bitcoin halving, is that money flowing into more utility-based projects and large caps and more trustworthy brands like Shib, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and things like that. And I think that's something very interesting on a market level that I'm personally looking at.
It is interesting to think that we're not 3 weeks or less away from the Bitcoin halving. This will be my first one as far as cycles. I got in basically right after the last one had happened and didn't know about it, kind of let it go by. So we will be talking about that inevitably. That'll be something that we'll have a Thursday Spaces afterwards, and I cannot wait to watch how all that unfolds. I know you've been around, Buzz, a little bit longer. This isn't your first cycle for that, is it?
No, I think this will be my third. Probably my third Bitcoin halving. I definitely remember the last two very vividly. There's always really cool watch parties that are going on. Typically what we've seen with the last halvings is that there's a really great run up in terms of price of Bitcoin leading up to the halving. There's a little bit of a slowdown after, and then a lot of that flow of funds is moving from Bitcoin when people were making a lot of money, potentially selling the top or whatever that may be, and flowing into altcoins and different utility projects that are blossoming. And I think there's going to be a really great opportunity coming up here that's going to align in Q3, it looks like, for projects to really get a lot of spotlight and a lot of traffic and notoriety at that given point in time.
Fingers crossed, man. There's no crystal ball, but there are historical, anecdotal stories and tales of what has happened in the past. So that's what we've got to go on at this point. But Q3 looks exciting from my perspective. We are at the 47-minute mark minus the 5 minutes that we did for the warm-up. So we're about headed towards the end of the spaces here. I want to kind of recap some of the things that we already went over. And then if I don't see a lot of hands, I haven't seen many yet, now would be the time. If you had questions, comments, concerns that may have been related to anything that we talked about, or if we had one or two non sequitur subjects, I've got the time to go for that. And if not, in the meantime, then what I'll do is, until I see some hands, I would like to give the people who pinned posts time to kind of mention their pinned posts. So as I look up there, Buzz, I see your name a whole lot of times. Since you pinned all of those, do you want to mention a couple of things up there while I'm looking for hands?
Sure. Yeah, I can go through them. I pinned the Shib account, posted our spaces here, which is awesome. Always welcome them to come to our spaces and really amplify the efforts of an official Shib project like K9. I pinned the governance update that Turtle was talking about, and the process that people can review that explains the different stakeholders, so token holders, the management council, which Turtle and myself and amongst others sit on, and the roundtable of dogs, which news around that panel will be announced soon, and I believe it's 11 members that will be on that panel, and there's a scoring rubric on our website to see how all of those submissions were blindly scored. We had our first snapshot vote, which is the test vote that Turtle talked about earlier, which is giving us data on the quorum level that we're going to require in the future. So what we were looking for there is really how many people own tokens that are going to participate in governance. And when we have these substantive votes coming up, for example, the tax vote, that I'll get to in a little bit, what should the quorum level be? How many people need to vote in order for it to be considered a valid vote? So we got some really good data from that. So thank you for everyone who participated. We obviously on, I think it was Tuesday, or maybe I'm forgetting my dates. We listed on Bitmart this week, and that was an organic listing that was really exciting because any project can really pay for a listing, but I think the strongest ones are ones that get recognized by exchanges and they want to list them organically. So that went very successful. Mr. Lightspeed did a live VC in our Telegram channel for almost an hour on Tuesday when the listing went live to show people exactly the process of listing a coin on an exchange and his process for doing that, and all went very, very smooth. So kudos to Mr. Lightspeed there, doing a great job again. We had the tax proposal submitted to the forum. So the proposal here that's active, and anyone is encouraged to go there and give their comments, support, or concerns on this proposal. So right now, I believe the tax on the K9 token is a 2.5% buy tax and a 6% sell tax. That was changed today, and according to the light paper. And there's a proposal right now in the forum to eliminate the buy tax for K9 and to reduce the on-chain sell tax to 3%. And we've talked about this a lot in the community and how this sell tax is taking a lot of tokens out of circulation, but that we are recommending that we remove the buy tax to just remove barrier to entry for people who are joining. I think that the community is very much so behind that proposal, but I do encourage everyone to go read that in long form directly on the forum. And then, of course, the product sneak peek. We talked about that. There's some really great screenshots of the liquid staking module there, and a video that is going to be posted quite soon in terms of how Bone Crusher will exactly work. We were covered in the Shib magazine and the Daily Shib, and we posted some roadmap highlights as well that goes through the evolutionary progression of the product and how all of our products were named, and how our Q3 product is named Bone Crusher. So I expect us to do a pretty cool meme competition about some memes for Bone Crusher in the future.
So those are all the pin posts that were up top, and I appreciate you going over all of those. I know since you had them all, that's a lot to explain all at once. I did find 2 questions in the comments that I will quickly answer before I start giving everybody their chance to say their goodbye messages before we close the spaces today. First question was related to K9 or Escrow K9. They were asking if that is a separate token than K9. The answer is yes. They also asked if it needed to be purchased. The answer is no. And their follow-up question, I think his name was Tyler, was, is there going to be a new token every quarter to purchase? And I don't believe he was saying this in a negative way, but he was just asking, is this program got more tokens coming out? The answer to that is no, very succinctly. That is not the case. And remembering that I have a hard cap, Buzz, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to respect the hard cap. I just wanted to say that even though Escrow K9 is a different token, it's what's called a soul-bound token. It does nothing other than vest into K9. And the reason that it's an Escrow K9 token is just so that there's a 6-month delay of you receiving your K9 tokens, and that so more tokens are not put into circulation. And I totally agree. No more tokens. All the tokens are in the light paper that we're focusing on.
You know you got a developer on your hands when he says it like that. No, please, no more tokens. The other question that I saw, that this is another very quick, easy answer, was somebody asked, who is the CEO of K9 Finance? Great question. There's not one. This is not a corporate structure. We don't have C-suites. There's no CEO, CTO, CMO, just a bunch of dudes and girls and ladies hanging out and doing cool work. Now, Buzz is a co-founder. Buzz has got some people that came up with the idea, and Buzz is one one of the developers, but I'm also the voice of the DAO. We've got listing agents, administrators, community leaders, and stuff. This is a much broader question about what is a DAO, and I'd love to go into that, but we don't have time at the end of the spaces. But there is no CEO of K9 Finance. You're all the CEO as far as I'm concerned. You're the boss as far as that goes. Before we go, I want to give everybody the microphone for a chance to say goodbye to everybody, and then I'll do the wrap up real quick. So in order that I see you on my panel, Sentinel, anything for the folks before we go?
Well, super excited. And one thing I want everyone to kind of focus in on is there's a lot of dots being connected, and the fact that some major things are happening. Shout out to Futurists and ETH Toronto coming up. Love to see us all support that. But yeah, just a lot of dots being connected, and super excited about our future.
I agree. I wish some of you in the audience had the top-down view that Sentinel had from where they're at, because I know he's seeing some crazy stuff. Crimson, any thoughts before we go?
No, I just want to say, like, if you guys could keep the hype in the community, that'd be awesome. You know, keep the positivity going and show everyone that we're a happy bunch, and help educate the newcomers, and keep doing what you're doing.
Right on. Keep that positive sentiment. Make her job easier. Don't be so weird in the chat.
Yeah, please.
Turtle, anything before we go?
All I want to say is get over to the forum and sign up. We'll get you approved right away. And, the time window is closing to provide feedback on the first proposals that are coming up. And there will be some major new ones in there before the end of the week. And that's all I got.
Thank you for coming by. Like I said, everybody, the best thing we can do to support him for all the work that he did would be to go over there and sign up and use the platform that he built for us. It's basic reciprocity. Let's get it done. Get over there, sign up, find the badges, complete your tasks and stuff like that. Seth, anything before we go for the folks?
Yeah, I think I said this before, but shout out to Sentinel for introducing me to Buzz in the first place. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. And great job hosting. I always enjoy your events, man. So thanks for doing this.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It is something that I greatly enjoy, and I'm a production connoisseur, so I'm glad they're coming across well. Last spot before we close out always goes to you, Buzz. You got anything for the folks before we go and I shut it down?
Yeah, I was talking with Lucy today, actually, who's in the audience, about my lack of understanding of the meme world in terms of making memes. And I would like to just pose a bit of a challenge to the community to see if we can post some more memes in the Telegram channel. I think it's going to be a deeper discussion with Lucy of how we get more memes going on Twitter and have things that the community can easily post, and more GIFs and memes in our main chat. But I'd love to see some memes about Bone Crusher and some other memes about K9, and our team's going to be trying to put together a strategy to get more memes out there, because we're seeing the power of meme with Damn Token, and would love to see a similar virality come to K9.
If there's one thing that I am very familiar with after all my years in crypto, it's that memes are the currency of the internet and the language of internet money, whether it's Dogecoin or Shiba Inu or anything else. I've been fortunate enough to be at this point in my life where I have been able to make money memeing. And I hope that's true for some of you in here as well. So I'm going to close it down. What that means for me is I'm going to shut down the spaces and move on with the day, and respectfully give you guys the rest of your day back. So without further ado, this was another K9 Finance Weekly DAO update. This was number 11 this week. You could have been anywhere, but you were here with us, and we appreciate that. Whether that was live, listening along to the show, or you were listening to the recording, which was also cool. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know how the recording sounded. We always want to know how that crisp recording sounds. As for myself, remember, I am not K9 Finance, as you're listening here at the end. I'm just a guy. I'm CryptoPulse9. My name's Shane. I'm just a community member. I'm not the developer. I'm just like you. One of the DAO members who's currently over on the forums, using the forums to have intelligent, meaningful discussions about the DAO and the progress that we're having and all the votes we're having. So that's, if you want to talk to me and I'm not on X, look for me over on the K9 Finance DAO forums, because that's where you're going to be, right? And in between then, I'll be here next week on Thursday to see you for number 11. Weekly update number 11. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time, guys. Have a great day.